Hello and welcome. My name's Sam and this is the Little Greenhouse Creates. Thank you for joining me today. And we are on project 19 and it is bunting. So it's not quite snowflakes, which is what we've been covering this week. I have dragged in the Gingerbread Man suite, which you will see later on in December. But for the bunting, it is here for today. However, I have used the Elegant Pine Snowflakes designer series paper that we have been currently using. So that's how it all comes in. So this is very cute, I have to say. We have these beautiful little, gingerbread men. I mean, look, how cute is this one? This one's lost his leg, so he's had to have a walking stick. Oops, get rid of that. So these are the bunting. We're going to make that grow a little bit longer. So what do we need? Let's have a look. We need a piece of pecan pie. Let me show you. This is the stamp set Gingerbread Men. Okay, and it comes with this huge amount of dies. So you've got the shape of the ginger men, you've got ribbon, you've got scarf, you've got cup of coffee. I'll show you them as we go along. So I have a piece of pecan pie that measures just big enough to run through my outlay of my gingerbread man. Okay, so that is double. You can have it as a card, but for the purpose of the video today, it is going to be the basis of my bunting. I have lots of scraps, so let's have a look what we've got. I have scraps of red. This is real red. I have a piece of white for scrap, and this is the designer series paper which we are going to use for the hats, etc. So the first thing we need to do, let's pop this over to the right of me. So the first thing you need to do is you will need to run this through your cut and emboss machine, and it comes back looking like this. So we've got our little gingerbread men. As you can see, they are joined at this hand. So then what we need to do is we need to give them their outline. So it's a very large stamp, and we're going to use Versamark, and we're going to use powder, and we're going to melt the powder. So embossing powder. Right, so the first thing I need to do is I'm going to bring in my this is like a little pillow of dust, and what you do is you wipe it over your area that you're going to stamp on, like so, and that will take off any static that you need that has come through. You've got this Versamark. Now mine looks dirty. It's not really. None of the, well, it is dirty, it's got colour in it, but none of the colour you'll see will be transferred over. It comes through as clear, so you need to stamp all over your image. Make sure it's all marked up. And then what you're going to do is you're going to layer your gingerbread man shape over the gingerbread man. Like, oops, let me make sure it's the right way around. Like so. Hold it for a couple of seconds and you get this outline, and hopefully you can see the outline that's here. And do exactly the same for the other side. So again, ink it up. Let's put him over the top and straight down. Okay, and uplift it. You can put the lid back on this now, and now we need to bring in our embossing powder. So I have white. I have a tool that will hold my gingerbread men. I'm going to go round the outline with the white embossing powder. For this purposes, I have a lot of white, so it's in a big Chinese takeaway tub. What I'm going to do is scoop it, hold my gingerbread man over the top, and I'm just going to run it over the print outlay that we've just created. For some reason I'm doing this left-handed, which is so not me, especially as I'm a right-handed person. And it's got a little bit of an arm there. And you just tap it. Okay. So there's a tiny bit of excess powder down here, which you can just wipe away with a little brush. Make sure. Right, then I'm going to change over sides, and I'm going to hold this one, and we'll do the other side. Okay, so again, we're just going over the line that we have stamped. Turn him over, just give him a little gentle tap, and you'll see that anything that hasn't, it should just stick to the bits that you have put the Versamark on. So let's get rid of that bit there. Now this is where the magic starts. If you've never seen how to do embossing, this is where the magic starts. I'll put this aside over here for a second. Right, so what happens is we need to melt this. So I've got a heat gun here. It's going to be a bit loud, so I'll give you a couple of seconds to turn your volume down. I just want you to see how the embossing powder melts as you heat it. Let's pop that to there. Okay, I'm going to turn it on. It will take a couple of seconds to warm up, and then we can begin. It's quite warm to the finger. It burns quite quickly. So you just need to bring it up, so hopefully you'll be able to see them melt. As the gun reaches the heat, it will melt the powder. And hopefully you can see how it comes all the way round, and the powder is melting and becomes bright white. Now, once you have melted all of your powder, you can go on to doing your next thing. What I want to do is show you just here how this one is all shiny and this one is all dull. So this is what happens when you heat it, and this is what happens the first stage. Once you've heated this lot, you can then put his eyes on, and or her eyes on and his eyes on, and then you can give it a little skirt. The eyes I will do in black, and the little skirt I will do in gold. So let's put those aside and bring in the ones I've already done, just for quickness. Okay, so now we have our two little gingerbread men. We need to dress them up. So we bring in our dies from the die set. Okay, so I'll go about that. So we've got a bow. So I'm going to, let's have a look. Let's run that through a bow. Okay, excuse me. Then we could have a hat to go on here and a scarf. I'm going to hold these down with my washi tape, because by doing that, it keeps them in place and for quickness. So that's those. Now, also, we have got a sweet. So this would get run through on the white section, and then this would get run through on the red card that she just throws across. So run those two through on the embossing folder. This one is joined together. So what you would need to do is you would need to run it once through the white and then once through the red. Once you've done all of those, they come back looking like this. Bear with. So there's my hat for my little man and his scarf. She's got a little bow. Now the little bow comes in 3 compartments. So I just need to bring those up. So we've got the base, you've got the bow, like so, and then you've got the little infill, which will stick down together in a second. And then I've got the lollipop with the red twirly bit, or I've got the what's this called, the sweet. Now the other thing we need to do is to stamp ourselves out 2 of these little jelly beans. Let's put those over there for a second. I've got Poppy Parade. They come in together like this. They have 1 die that goes over the 2. Let's put that there. There we go. Again, you've got your little die that you pop over the top, like so. And then you can run it through your machine and it will come back looking like this. So, next thing to do is to dress up our gingerbread men. So his hat can be stuck straight down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a bit of glue and I'm just going to run it around the edge there and the edge of that bit there. So it's just around the hat section. Not too much because you don't want to overflow it and it for it to ooze out. So that now just goes over onto his hat. There we go. You can do exactly the same for the scarf. Just going to run that all the way down like that. And then that will go onto there and keep him warm. As I said, the bow comes in 3 parts, so I'm going to use my glue dots, she says, if she can find them. What have I done with them? Glue dots, oh, there they are. I'm going to use these flat ones because that's what I've got available at the moment. So the first thing I need to do is take a glue dot and pop it on to the top of the bow. I'm going to lift that up, take you away, lift that up. Then this can go on over the top. So it gives you the kind of bow effect. Move it up a bit. There we go. And then last but not least, you put another glue dot on the top. There. You can peel the back off and reveal the dot. And then we can pick up. What have I done with it? It is so tiny. I cannot see it. Oh, there it is. Look, there it is. I told you it's so tiny. And that just literally goes over the top to help form the bow. And the bow then just looks like that. How cute. Okay, and then if you want to, a glue dot or a bit of glue on the back so that you can stick it into place. Okay, so that will go onto there. She's got 2 buttons for the top of her jumper. Like that. And we can put those up on dimensionals. So you need a full dimensional for the larger of the 2. There we go, that goes down there. And then half a dimensional for this one, which I've already cut in half. Oh, let's not cut it in half properly. Let's try again. There we go. It comes out and goes on the back like so. And then we can unpick this. And that goes onto there. So that is our 2 ginger men decorated. The other ones I had got a a gold buttons here, but I found that they didn't show through very well, so I've left them off. Let's bring those in. Put my sweeties aside for a second and my glue dot. Oops. Right, let's bring those in. So we now want to add them to our chain of gingerbread men. So you've got an option. You could just stick them together as plain and simple with a glue dot or with stamp and seal or anything like that. I have got very tiny brads. Let's bring me out of there. We are. Oh, it's two. I don't need two. I only need one. So what I did to put my brads in, you can pick these up in most stationers, good stationers. I'll pick up my sponge, put it underneath, work out where my two are going to hold hands. So they're generally, that one comes up to that mark there where the wiggle is there. Okay, taking my pointy tool, I'm going to poke through both of the gingerbread. Then I'm going to bring in my brad, push that down, and then I can turn it over like so, and then I'm just going to open it up, and that will keep the two together. Okay, now obviously we don't need them coming through and showing because they don't particularly look pretty. So this is where my sweets come involved. So I'm going to use the glue dot, and I'm going to pop it on the actual brad. This one's got a bit of a dip in it, so I can actually just poke it in. But you could probably put it over the top. And then this allows me to put my sweet on. So I'm just trying to pick it up. So I've got this nice little sweet, and I've got this little candy cane. And that's going to go there over the top. And as you can see, that fits quite nicely. And then this is sticky, so you just stick your sweet or decoration over the top of them. And that is as simple as that. You can have as many of these little gingerbread men as you like. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 5 pairs. And I am so pleased with them. I have not added anything to the back to hang them because I felt that you could probably put something on the back of it, like a bit of white tack if you wanted to pin them up on a wall, or if you wanted to, you could tack some ribbon to the back and hang them. But yeah, that is our little gingerbread man. So thank you ever so much for joining me for the bunting today. We will be back again tomorrow, so do join me then, and I'll catch up with you soon. Take care. Bye.